Hello friends, in this video I will be covering decision making loops, iterator and control flow. So decision making means you can make the decision if else, case when and ternary operator. I will be covering those, and inside the loop I will be covering simple loop, for loop, while loop, until times. There are some loops in Ruby up to, down to, step. I will be covering each one of them, and there are some iterators, each and map, select any. So I will be covering those, and there are the last topic, control flow, means we can control the flow, the execution of code. So I will be covering break, what it will do. I will cover next, and begin rescue. We can control the flow, and we can rescue our code. We can use the retry, redo and return. These will be the control flow I will be covering in this video. So let's start. So I will start from the if else. Let me open the terminal. IRV. This is the simple syntax. If condition means condition can be true or false. True. Else if condition true, else, and this is the basic syntax. If, else if, and else, and. If condition is true, then it will go inside this block. If condition is this condition is true, then it will go into this block, and rest it will go into the else block. Let me give you an example. If condition is true, put something that I am true, else, and else put I am else. I am else. I am inside else. So if condition is true, it is printing I am true. Else it will print this. For example, if I again put it, but if this time condition is false, it will print I am inside the else block. So it is printing this. So this is just a syntax of if else. Okay. And in Ruby there is an special case that everything is true except the nil and false. Everything is true. Just let me show you. If I am printing this, it will go into the else case. See here, printing it's false. Okay, and in case of nil, it will also print false. See here, it is printing the false. But everything else apart from this nil and false, everything is true. Suppose if I use 0, it will print true. Let me show you. It is true. And if I put 1 in case of condition, this is also, it will print true. Okay, and even the empty string, it will print true. But if I use some condition like blank, this is blank, it will return true. So it will also blank is not an array, so I will use some include. For example, 1 comma 2 include 2 is included in this. Let me use for the false condition, 3 is included inside that, it will return false. Because this condition is false, it is written false. So everything else apart from this false and nil, everything is true in Ruby. That's a simple thing. One another way we can also define the if statement. It is printing in one line statement. So I can print for example, puts I am even number. If 2 dot, if this condition is true, just print this. It's a one line statement of if. So if this is even, I am printing this. If this is not even, it is false, it will print nothing. Okay, so there is nothing. So it's a one line statement of if case. Okay, also we can define the if and else in one line. Let me show you. This is the syntax. If the condition, and we have to put the semicolon here, and then the first statement, else this statement end. But that's not a good practice. Let me show you the both cases. If the condition is true, it will print hello. If condition is false, it will print else statement. But that's not a good practice. In one line if else case, better to go for the ternary operator. So this is a ternary operator, and the syntax here is we can define some condition and we will ask if it is true, print this statement. If the otherwise, if print this statement. So let me show you. If 2 is even, I'm printing it here, and this is this condition. Now it will print the statement 1. If this condition is false, 1 dot even, no it is not even, it was printing else statement. So that's the ternary operator, that instead of one line if else, go for the ternary operator. The next I will be covering the case when. So let's start. Let me clean this up. So the case when is that is a basic syntax. Let me define. So that's a case when suppose there is an item. This is a basic syntax of case. We define one value, and if one value is satisfy this condition or this condition, and this will go inside this block, and if this satisfy this condition, it will go here, and if it does not satisfy any of this condition, it will go into the else state. So this is just a basic syntax for case when. Let me show you with an example. For example, I have used mark 70. Okay, so I have decided some condition here. If mark is 0 to 32, then you are fail, and 32 to 40 you got the C grade. Okay, so this is the condition I have defined for the B grade and C grade. And if any of these condition does not satisfy, it will go into the else block, and here it will print you got the A grade. So that's the thing that we have defined. Just let me define you. I have assigned the 70 in a marks. Now I am printing this, trying to run. So marks is 70. It is not satisfying any condition. See, and that's why it is printing you got A grade. You got A grade. Suppose if I got the marks is 35, that's false in this condition. Okay, so it will print you got the C grade because we false in this condition. Okay, so that's the case and when. So let me cover this range inside this the range operator, because I am using this. So it will show you 0 to 32. Okay, so let me show you to A. I can convert this to A. That's the double dot. It means both inclusion 0 and 32. Let me show you. I'm converting it to 2 array, so it will print you it has included 32. Okay, also it has included 0, so that's an inclusion. But if I use 3 dot, then it will not include this 32. Okay, see, the 31 is the maximum, it has not included 32. So if we could have used here 3 dot, and if the marks is 32, then it does not satisfy this condition. See, let me show you. Marks is 32, it is not satisfy this condition because this has been excluded. This does not satisfy this condition, not satisfy this condition, not even this, then you got A grade. This condition satisfied. So see, if marks is 31, then it will satisfy this condition, and you will get here, you fail here. Okay, because they satisfy this condition, because 31 is inclusion in this condition. So that's the range, these 3 dot or 2 dot. Also one more thing I want to highlight, that's a bonus, that when we can use a multiple else statement if else multiple times. But we should avoid using if else more than, if it is, if there are more than two condition, means if else if and else if, then we should avoid using this. Instead of this, better to go for case when. Because suppose if I have written one thing, let me show you. Suppose if I have written the code in this way, that if the country is India, right? And now I am printing this, and I am using this code like this. Suppose check country is equals to Europe. Otherwise, else if this condition false, it will go here. If the country is equals to America. Okay, if this condition false, then it will go here. The country is equals to India. So every time it is evaluating if else if. So this takes some time, okay, to execute this. Instead of this, if you use the case when, then it will be much more efficient. Suppose if we have assigned the country variable with India, and if country variable we are using India here, so it will not go to here or not even here, but it will directly go to this when and inside this block and execute this. So this will be much more efficient. Okay, so better to avoid if else when, and instead of this, use case when. So the thumb rule of using if else versus case when is, if we are using more than two times else if, then it's better to avoid using if else. Just go for the case when. Okay, the country is India, it is directly going to here, condition here India. So this is just an evaluation. In next topic I will be covering the loops. So let's start with defining a simple loop. Let me clean this up. So that's the simple loop syntax. So that's an infinite loop. We want to see is it printing or something or not. It's an infinite. Let me show you a loop. Let me print something. Let's start with this example. I have defined I is equals to 5, then I am just increasing it by 1, and I am just simply printing it. So let me run this code. Here see, it is running infinite loop. So that's a simple syntax of running any loop. I think I want to highlight one more thing here. There is no plus plus operator in the Ruby, unlike in C++. So we can just increase it I with the value of I plus plus like this in any other programming language, but in Ruby there is no such operator. If I try to run, for example, I is equals to 5, if I try to use I plus plus, it will not run it. Just for example, I assign into some another variable I plus plus, it will give you the syntax error because there is no such operator in this. Okay, so just let me cover for loop. The next loop is for loop, so I will be covering the for loop here. So that's the syntax for all for loop. We defined some array here, and we are just there is one variable that is iterating one by one from this array. First it will iterate 5 in this item, and then this whole block will run inside this whole block. Inside this for loop, the whole block will run for this iterator, and for the next time it will iterate 4 in item, and then it is printing here. Next time it is 3 in the item variable, and 2, and so on. So just let me run this code. See here, it first time it's 5, I am printing item. First time it's 5 4 3 2 1, it's just printing like this. So that's the syntax for loop. You can here assign any array, hash, or any range operator like this. But I started with A, and until Z I started I have used here a range operator. So let me print this. See here, it is printing a b c d e f until z by z. Okay, so that's the benefit of defining this range operator. You can define the range operator with date as well, date dot today with date dot today plus 5 days. Okay, print this date. Okay, I will have to use date library here, require. Now I can run date. See, date dot today is 12 plus 5 days, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So here is the date range you can print. So that's a simple for loop. So the next loop here is while loop. So I will cover. That's a simple condition. That's a simple syntax for the while loop. We have to define one condition. It will run, this block will run until this condition gets false. If this condition is false, break this loop. That's the simple while loop. Okay, so let me use with an example. Yeah, I have used it here is I is equals to 0 and I less than 10 means 0 less than 10. This condition is true. Evaluate this code. Okay, inside this while loop, and again at the end of this line, again it checks this condition. If it is true, it will print again. If this condition is true, again. If condition is false, then break here. Okay, so that's the way how while loop works. So let me run this code and show you. I is equals to 0 and I am running this code. I am printing I and I am increasing I is equals to plus equals to 1. That is equivalent to I is equals to I plus 1. Okay, so just let me here. Just let me run this. I is equals to I plus 1. I am increasing it by 1 and printing it. See? So first time it's 0. It has increased by 1 and the one condition is less than 10, true. Then it is again printing this 1 and this condition is increasing by 1. I value is now 2. 2 is less than 10. Then it is printing 2 with this code and now it's increasing by 3 and so on. At the end of this, I is equals to 9. Okay, 9 less than 10. Yes, then it's printing I is equals to 9. Then I is equals to 10. Now 10 less than 10, no, the condition gets false and that's why it does not print the 10 and then this loops break. That's why we are printing up to 9 only. So that's the simple while loop. Let me cover one more important, do while. So do while is similar to while, exactly while, but it will run at least one time. Here the code will be executed, then condition will check and then this code will be executed again. So at least one time it will be running. For example, if I is equals to 1, okay, and I am printing I, okay, then I am increasing I is equals to I by 1 and now this condition satisfy, and if this condition is true, okay, then it will run again. If condition is false, just break it. Let me show you. At least one time it will be running. So the next I will be showing this. So now it's printing I is equals to 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. When I becomes 5, this condition gets false and then it will not print like this. Okay, you can also check this value. I is equals to 5. Okay, so I is, this condition gets false. Now the value of I is 5. Okay, so I am saying that at least one time it will be printing, it will be executed, this code will be executed in the begin to end. Okay, let me show you. If this condition is I is equals to 10, okay, for example I is equals to 10 I have assigned. Now this condition will be false, right? 10 less than 5, the condition is false. Even if this condition is false, but this time this will also print, because that's the benefit of do while. we can run at least one time and this code, and then the condition gets checked. Let me show you. Okay, only one time this is printing. Now the condition is false, it did not print this again. Okay, suppose if this condition is 4, is the condition satisfied, it will print again and again. See, it is printing multiple times. 4 4 4 4 4 4. It's an infinite loop. Okay, so that's an uh, do while loop. The next iterator is until. So until is very much similar to the while, but the difference here is while code breaks when the condition is false. If this condition gets false, it will break. But until, if this condition gets true, then it will break. Other than that, it will same. So let me show you with an example. That I suppose I have defined I have defined I is equals to 0, and I am just printing it I and increasing it by 1. And if this condition becomes 5, then break this, because this condition is true, then it will break. So let me run this. It is printing the 0 1 2 3 4. When I becomes 5, this condition breaks and it is not printing I. Okay, so even if you like, if you use like this, if greater than 10, then it should break. Let me show you. Okay, so if it is printing when I is equals to 10, okay, so here see, if this condition is true, if I is equals to 11, okay, then it's not printing. If I is equals to 10, then it does print because it's false. If 11 greater than 10, so that it becomes true, then it breaks this. So that's the until loop. And now the next loop is the times. So you can run the blocks of code as many times as you want. So if you want to print hello for the 10 times, just use this loop. 10 dot times, that will print, open this, 10 dot times print hello. So it will execute this code 10 times. Suppose if you want to use one line statement, use the curly braces. But if you want to use multiple line, just use do end instead of this curly braces. You can use 5 dot times print hello, and it is just by default taking this index parameter. So you can also print uh, puts hello, and by default it is taking index. It starts with the 0 and until 5 times, or 0 1 2 3 4. It is actually 5 times. 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 4 time, 5 time. It is running 5 times, and but this argument is, it is taking with the index. That index always starts with 0 0 1 2 3 4, and every time it is printing hello 5 times. So that's just an times operator, times loop. You can use it. The next loop here is up to or down to. So suppose if you want to run a value from 1 up to 5, means the value from 1 to 5 you want to run a loop, you can use this up to 1 up to 5 item print. I am printing just item 1 1 2 3 4 5. You can use, like, you can start with this series 500 to 5000. Okay, so it will print until 5000. It has started with, it has started with it has started with 500. Yes, and it is, there is an opposite of up to is the down to. You can start with the downward direction, like 5 to 1. Just print this. Okay, so it is printing in the reverse order, 5 to 1. Or even you can do like this, 600 to 550. Okay, 550, it is printing in the reverse order. So that's an up to and down to. Also, I wanted to cover one step loop as well. So there, and that's a syntax for step, that it is a range operator. I am running with the 10 to 100. Okay, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, now I am stepping it with the 10, means increase the count by plus 10, means with the speed of 10 please run. So when n is equals to 10, n equals to 20, n equals to 30, like this, just run this. So that's the way it is printing. So let me print this puts and here. Let me remove this. Now I will print this. See, 10, 20, 30. With the speed of 10, it is printing until 100. So it is printing like this. Okay, so there is another way to use this step. There is another syntax. It starts with 0 to up to 1000, means it starts with 10 up to 10 with the speed of 10. We can pass the second argument with the speed of 2. Just run this. So it will also execute the same with the speed of 2. It is just printing, see, 772, with the speed of 2. It is just printing up to 1000, because we have defined the 1000. It has started with 0. Let's see here, it has started with 0 here, see. So and in another programming language, it is exactly looks similar like this. For loop, it starts with 0, it is running until 1000 with I equals to I plus 2 or I plus 1, like this. It is with the step of 1. See, it is actually you can compare it like this. This is exact the same way.